Oh, Clara, you sus motherfucker.
It's almost like we have an imposter among us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to talk about Clara in From Season 4 because for these past 4 seasons, this woman has just been chilling in the background of Colony House, popping up in random but important moments. And the funny thing is, most people couldn't even pick her out of a lineup, and frankly, I forgot she existed most of the time. And then Season 4, Episode 9 happens, and Sophia lowers a pair of glasses, and her eyes just go pitch black, and she asks Clara one question: do you remember the bargain we made? And she nods. She knew the whole frickin' time. So today we're doing a full rewatch of From, but this time we're only watching for one person, and that's Clara, and every scene she's in, specifically to look at every moment that we wrote her off as a background character or background noise, because once you know about this bargain, none of that is background noise anymore, like literally none of it. As mentioned, we are breaking down every Clara reference in From, and just to set the record straight, Clara is a Colony House resident played by Katerina Bakolius, and here's the first detail that tells you how far back this goes. In Season 1, she wasn't even named. She was credited literally as Colony House resident. It wasn't until Season 2 that the show actually gave her the name of Clara, and the official description of her, at least on the wiki and other places, is, which I think is pretty funny now, but a superstitious Colony House resident. And commit that superstitious word to Claude memory, because we will be back to it, because after Episode 9, that word honestly does a lot of the heavy lifting. She appears in a handful of episodes across all 4 seasons, and I went back through every single one of them, so let's go in order. Season 1, Episode 3, Choosing Day, is Clara's introduction to the entire series. Jade had just arrived, and Donna tried explaining to him how the town works, but Jade is being Jade, and he decides that this is all just like an elaborate escape room. So he runs outside and he sees Clara casually riding by on a bicycle, and he grabs her bike and pedals off, leaving her just standing there stunned. It's funny because her intro is just a throwaway gag of Jade stealing her bike, and on first watch it's obviously nothing. It's just a joke, but the framing is pretty interesting. The very first time we ever see Clara, she's positioned as a harmless background character. And that's exactly the kind of person you'd want as your eyes and ears, isn't it? She's the one that nobody looks at twice. The show has trained us from minute 1 to not pay attention to her, and that's either a coincidence or it's the longest con that the show has ever ran. And honestly, I'm so curious from a writing perspective if John Griffin knew that Clara was going to be compromised all the way back then. I'd have to assume yes, given how long that they've been planning this show out, but honestly, who knows? Clara pops up again briefly in Season 1, Episode 8, following the aftermath of Colony House's massacre, where she mentions that Jade thought this place was an escape room and asks Jade how that's going for him. And she also mentions to Jade, who was asking, that she saw Victor run into the woods with Julie. And honestly, there's not too much to say about this other than what I previously said, that she's just a background character, and this is just background speech, but like, why were you there? Why did you see this? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, the next time we see Clara is in Season 1, Episode 10, called Oh, the Places We Go. And this is all about the radio tower that Jim has been working on, and he gets the signal. And then he hugs his family, and as he's doing so, Clara interrupts them, pointing out that the storm clouds are rolling in, and she's the one who clocks the storm. Immediately after the storm, and in Season 2, the premiere episode, the lights start exploding, and Clara takes the glass like out of her eye because it got like stabbed in there, and so Christy patches it up. She ends up with like an eye patch. And the peculiar moment here that I want to bring up comes after she recovers. She goes and finds Jade and asks him, did we make it angry? And she describes how the storm came out of nowhere, the lights blew, and it felt like they had angered the place, for lack of a better word. And she asks Jade, what do they do now? So this is our first taste of supernatural Clara. On first watch, she's a scared resident grasping for meaning, but now knowing what we do, Clara framing events as the place being angry, the place punishing, doesn't feel like a person grasping for meaning anymore. Sophia, or the man in yellow, tells us in episode 9 that this place runs on ritual, and Clara, 4 seasons earlier, is the one walking around interpreting the town's moods. Like, does she have actual knowledge, or is she just the superstitious one? I'm gonna let you guys decide that, but file it away to that Claude memory either way. And really quickly, did you know that 88.8% of you are not subscribed to this channel? That's a lot of people who are coming back week to week and not subscribing, and that free cylindrical button goes a long way, as does hyping the video and liking it. I put countless hours of work into these videos and would appreciate some free love in return. Plus, it's always free to unsubscribe if you don't like it. So there's that. It's all free. It's a free transaction. I'm going to be making From videos for as long as I can, even while we're waiting until season 5. But anyway, that's my spiel. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, and now back to Clara. So the eye patch scene. In season 2, Clara is quietly settling into the role that she plays better than anyone in the town. She's the witness. She's the one who always saw something. And remember back in episode 8 when she casually mentioned that she saw Victor run off into the woods with Julie, and I told you that that was just background character speak, and then I went on and did a whole spiel that I'm about to do about that. Back to it. Watch how often that she is the one supplying everybody else's whereabouts. Tether, episode 3 of season 2, this is when Victor comes back to his room and Clara is there to greet him, all warm, telling him that she's glad he's okay. And when Victor replies, asking her if someone was in a room, she immediately knows the answer, in that it was Jade and Ethan in there the night before. What was she, snooping around? How does she know this? Anyway, on the surface, that's just a helpful neighbor, for sure, but that's 2 for 2 now. First, she's the one seeing Victor go out the window, and now she's the one who is in his room. Clara's constantly the person who just so happens to have eyes on where everybody was. In a town whose entire nightmare runs on manipulation and getting people to turn on each other, a quiet, trusted resident is worth her weight in gold. Is she reporting? Is she steering? Or is she just nosy? I don't know. The pattern to me is clearly there. And it starts early. Clara appears next in an episode that I can never pronounce, Pasta Dukes. It's not pasta, but it's Past the Dukes. Whatever. It's episode 6 of season 2, and it's one of my favorite episodes of the show. But as the food shortage boils over, Dale accuses Elgin of stealing food and pulls a knife, trying to force the bus passengers out into the middle of the night, essentially. And as this is going on, Ellis steps in to restrain Dale, but Dale accidentally stabs him. And now it's chaos. Fatima and Bakta are dragging Ellis to the couch, and Clara's right in the middle of it, fetching towels so they can put pressure on the wound. Ellis gets worse, so Fatima calls it. They're going to the clinic, and she posts lookouts in the window to make sure the path to the van is clear before anyone runs for it. And who's on lookout? It's Clara, and Clara reports back that it looks safe, except it isn't. One of the Colony House members is the one who spots a creature about like 50 yards out and closing in, and Clara gave them an all clear, and there was a monster out there. And look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Clara deliberately tried to feed Ellis to a creature. That's a reach, and I'm not going to make it. I am going to point out that this is the 3rd time that Clara is positioned as the eyes of the room, and this time her read was flat out wrong. We got helpful Clara, we got lookout Clara, and the all clear Clara that wasn't. Like maybe, to me, maybe Clara feels that the man in yellow or whatever is like Santa Claus, and if she does good deeds or stays in the mix of everything, she won't get coal for Christmas. I don't know. Like maybe in her head, she's thinking that she just has to be involved in order for her to go home for whatever that favor is. That's why she's like the eyes and ears. I genuinely don't know. But anyway, Clara's final appearance in season 2 is in episode 9, and it's the night that Paula dies. When Reggie comes tearing in looking for Donna, he breaks the news that Paula's dead, and the whole house starts to unravel. Fatima steps up to hold things together, and she relays Boyd's instructions, telling everyone that nobody can sleep and that they have to partner up. And then later at night, Reggie completely loses it, grief-stricken, running around, shaking people awake, and screaming that they're all going to die, and that nothing can protect them. And Ellis and Fatima try to help calm him down, and as this happens, he shoves Ellis to the ground, and Elgin has to physically drag him upstairs while he's screaming. And what does Clara do in the middle of this? She watches. That's That's the verb. She watches. The house is coming apart at the seams, and Clara is once again the observer, taking it all in from the edge of the frame. When Boyd and Donna finally get back, she's just part of the crowd swarming them with questions, but the through line of the entire season 2 arc is exactly that. Clara sees everything and nobody sees Clara. That's the season 2 formula. And if season 2 is where Clara became the witness, season 3 is where the show fully commits to the con, because almost every scene she's in this season is designed to make you like her, and that's the trap. A good cover doesn't work unless it's genuinely good. So watch the show spend a whole season making Clara lovely while sneaking in the one cold beat that matters. Episode 1, Shatter, Nikki is being a jerk to Fatima, ragging on her for hogging the bathroom while she's dealing with the morning sickness. And who steps in to defend her? Clara. Nikki just swears at her for the trouble. Sweet, right? Clara's sticking up for the pregnant woman nobody else is defending. Bank that, put it in Claude memory, because the show is about to do this over and over. When we make it to episode 2, after Tan Shen, Kenny's mom, dies, Clara quietly leaves a flower on the diner counter in her honor, and when Kenny comes in, she gives him her condolences on the way out. Again, thoughtful, gentle, grieving, all that crap right alongside the community. The Clara is a good person file is it's getting thick. It's getting very thick, with multiple C's, might I add.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
And then in episode 3, Mousetrap. This one's nothing on the first watch, but honestly, a little chilling on the rewatch, or I'm just saying it's chilling for the plot, I don't frickin' know. Fatima walks into the kitchen and finds Clara cooking a steak. They'd split up the meat from the cow the creatures had killed, and Clara offers her some. Fatima turns it down and gets nauseous and leaves. And on its own, it's really nothing, but with the shape of it, this is Clara offering Fatima food, and Fatima saying no. Now jump ahead to episode 9. Clara hands Fatima a drink, and that's the time that Fatima says yes. And it's poison. It's not a cow, it's poison. And the one and only time Fatima accepts something from Clara's hand, it's the thing that's killing her. I'm not telling you the steak was sinister, I'm telling you the show quietly set up Clara's feeding the Fatima. And this is a season before they pull the trigger. And that's the kind of thing the show does, and that's why the rewatch hits, honestly. And then in episode 4, Acosta arrives, fresh off the ambulance, surrounded by creatures outside Colony House, and in the chaos, she fires off shots and accidentally hits Nikki. And Clara's the one who runs out and gets Acosta safely inside, then sits with Elgin while Acosta tries to explain to Donna what happened. And then, like everybody, she's stunned when Boyd walks through the door with Tabitha. And then once again, she's just plopped in the dead center of the room in a big moment. She's got the front row seat. And then in episode 5, The Light of Day, this is the one to me. This is the beat that I've been waiting to get to all season. There's a town meeting about Tabitha's escape and return, and Clara heads over, runs into Julie on the way, shows up late, and sits in the back. And after Tabitha tells her story, the story of how she escaped, the first real hope this town has had in forever, Clara is one of the voices that turns on her, saying Tabitha wasted her opportunity. Now think about what the man in yellow wants more than anything in this world. He wants these people hopeless. He wants them divided, and he wants them to believe that the one person who's actually the closest and the one who got out is full of shit. And here's Clara, not screaming like Dale, not leading a mob, just sitting quietly in the back, dropping one demoralizing line that chips away at the only person offering this town a way home. It's small, it's deniable, and it's exactly how you'd operate if your job was to keep everyone stuck. And to be fair, the line is confirmed, but the motive is my theory. But you go rewatch that meeting now and tell me it plays the same. Scar Tissue is episode 6, and it's when Clara startles Elgin while he's working on Colony House's photo album and notices he looks shaken and asks if he's alright and compliments the collage. It's a cute little moment, it's totally harmless, there's nothing crazy, except what is the thing that finally exposes the man in yellow in episode 9? A photo! Elgin's photos. His picture collection is the smoking gun that blows the whole disguise. And the season before, here's Clara hovering right over that exact photo album, checking in on the exact guy who eventually cracks the case. And it's probably a coincidence, but this show does not put Clara next to the eventual murder weapon by accident very often. And then Revelations chapter 1, which is episode 9, Victor starts hurling his draw drawings out his bedroom window, screaming that he kept all of it because he thought it would help, but all it does is hurt. And Clara's the one who comes in trying to calm him down before Acosta and Kenny show up, and Victor pushes past everyone to the kitchen. And there she is again, in Victor's orbit during a meltdown. Victor, the resident who's been here the longest, who remembers the man in yellow from his childhood. Whatever you make of it, clock the pattern. When the two people closest to the truth is in this entire town are coming apart at the seams, Clara is somehow always right there in the room with them. So that's season 3, and season 4 is the payoff. Season 4's early episodes, they're the same as ever. She's in the background of The Arrival and Merrily We Go, still nobody's prime suspect, still part of the furniture, really, of Colony House, which is the whole point, because episode 9 is coming, and episode 9 changes how you see every single thing that we just talked about. Which brings us to episode 9. Clara and Elgin are lowering the flag, collecting the rope for the tunnel mission, and Clara peels off to go check on a shed, and Sophia, who, as you guys know, is the man in yellow wearing dead Sophia's face, offers to come and help her. And then it happens. Sophia stops her, asks if Clara knows who she really is, and says, maybe if you look closer, and lowers her glasses. And the eyes go pitch black, and here's the tell. Clara's reaction isn't confusion. It's not, what are you? It's, oh God. That is the reaction of someone who already knows exactly what she's looking at, because she does. Sophia asks if she remembers the bargain they made, and Clara nods. And then we finally get the terms. When Clara first came to this town, she made the deal with the man in yellow. He lets her go home if one day she helps him. And that day is now. That day is right now, and she even says the quiet part out loud. And it's heartbreaking. That day we met, when I started to wonder if it was real. Are you really gonna let me go home? Then comes the ritual. He cuts his own hand open, forces Clara to give up hers, saying, give me your hand or I'm going to do horrible things to you, slices her palm and pressures the blood together, and tells her to just relax and let me in. And you could physically watch something change in her. And then she does the deed. Clara goes out to the ambulance, opens the wound back up, bleeds into the thermos, mixes it, and walks into the clinic as a family remedy. Fatima, who medically should already be dead, who's already seemingly turning dead, I guess, I don't even know. Fatima drinks it, and Clara walks out in tears. That's the part that I need everyone to sit with. Clara hates this. She's not gleeful. She's not crackling or anything like that. I don't think she's evil. She's just a terrified person doing a monstrous thing because she got promised the one thing every single person in this town would burn the whole world down for: a way home. And don't act like you wouldn't be like Clara. I know I would. I would do this in a heartbeat. And her last beat seals it. She runs to tell Sophia the plan changed, and that is Jade and Tabitha going into the tunnels now, not Jade and Kenny. And Sophia turns on her, pretty much furious, saying that you should have told me sooner. And Clara, desperate, gives us that line that it sums up the entire character, saying, I still get to go home, right? That's Clara. Every towel, every all clear, every time I saw someone last night or whatever, if any of it was on purpose, it was all for that one sentence. But anyway, this reveal does way more than explain one background character. One, it confirms that the man in yellow makes deals. We already knew the smiling things made a bargain to live forever. Fatima told us that in the premiere. Now we know that he makes bargains with the living too. Bargains are the same engine of this whole place. They are the engine of this whole place. It runs on ritual and contracts, and Clara is the walking proof of that. 2, and this is, to me, the cruel part, it weaponizes hope. The worst thing about the bargain isn't the threat, it's the promise. Help me and you go home. This place doesn't just scare you into doing its dirty work, it dangles the one thing nobody can refuse. 3, it means there are almost certainly others. This is the thought that should, in my opinion, keep you up at night for the plot. Obviously, it's not going to keep you up at night, it's a fucking show. But if Clara made a deal, who else did? How many quiet, helpful, forgettable people are wandering around Colony House in the town right now with a deal in their pocket? And is it Tilly? Where is Tilly, by the way? Where the fuck is Tilly? This thing has been here for decades. Clara, there's no shot that Clara is the only one who ever said yes to this. So I'm going to leave you with some questions that I can't shake at all, and I want your answers to the best of your ability down below. So 1, when did the bargain actually happen? She says that it was the day that we met. So how far back is that? Has Clara been compromised since the time Victor was young? Like, when was this? I don't really understand it. Were any of those background moments, like the storm, like were any of those things already her doing his work? 2, was poisoning Fatima her first job or just the first one that we caught? We only saw her in episode 9, but the deal is old. What if she's been nudging this town off the rails for seasons and we just never had a reason to look? And 3, does she actually go home? I don't think so. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Clara is going to die, but you never know. Is this real? Does the man in yellow live up to the bargain, or is this just an unfair demon? And 4, this is the one that I personally keep landing on, is Clara a villain or a victim? She cried pouring the blood. She begged to go home. I don't think she's evil. She's trapped, same as everyone else, just on a worse leash. So when this comes out, and in this show, it always comes out, does the town forgive her, or does Clara go in the box? I think Clara is 100% going in the box, but I definitely want to hear from you guys, so let me know down in the comments. How do you feel about it? Where do you land? Where do you sit? All of that. I'd love to start a healthy conversation down there with you. And with all that out of the way, thank you again so much for watching this video, and until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.